Travel, yes, so you can know who you are and where you come from. Connect with your roots, because that's spiritually necessary, that's psychologically necessary, that's politically necessary, that's socially necessary. Now, if you would have said immigrate, I would have said no.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is.
So anyhow, after I do the lecture in Harlem, 125th and 5th, give out the Chicago interview, I lie to you not. Within 48 hours, my phone started ringing with area codes I'd never seen in my life, up until October 30th, because the Chicago interview was September 18th, 2010. The New York lecture was October 30, 2010, 6 weeks later. Prior to that, the only area codes I saw on my phone was Pennsylvania, 610, 215, 484, right? Mm-hmm. Within 48 hours after Harlem, bro, after giving out that Chicago interview in Harlem, my phone started ringing. It ain't stopped in 14 years. I started seeing area codes I never saw. First, it was America, right? My first call to come to Dallas came right after that. Like, yo, we want you to Doc Bookstore.
That's
you
real.
Feel me? That's the first place I came in Dallas. And then California came. Then there was Texas and Alabama and Mississippi. And it was crazy. Now, mind you, at the time, I'm a whole school psychologist, but people keep calling on me to come speak. I'm like, shit, I got to test these kids, do these evaluations. I got IQ tests, achievement tests, emotional assessment. I had to make a decision. You either got to pull back on your public speaking and keep doing your professional work, or pull back on the professional work to travel. Now, mind you, being a psychologist, you get paid good money.
Come on.
I gave the money up for the movement.
Come on.
You feel me? And I don't regret it, because of the lives that I've changed in the process. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But here's the point I want to make. When those ancestors came to me in Goree Island in Senegal in 2005, I believe that is what set up what happened in 2010 with Chicago and Harlem.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, what I'm doing right now was birthed in that slave dungeon in West Africa.
Yeah, no, that man, hey man, you know, that sounds like a Black Panther, the Purple Orb, ancestral
I'm working
plane.
on the comic book of it though.
You got to. You got to. And here I thought, you know, you got like done by a white girl in third grade or something.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, no.
No bunnies.
Yeah.
Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
Yeah, I thought it was a traumatic moment that happened back in the so man, that's amazing. So let's start with this, and we're gonna be jumping all over the place, but they always say for the Black American, the African American who's born in America, won't you go back to Africa? They used to always say, won't you go back home? And they'd be like, well, I never been there. What would you prescribe that every person, Black person of melanated skin, go travel to Africa? And if so, where? Based on where you've been.
Great question. Would I recommend that every African in the diaspora travel to Africa? I'm glad you said travel, because I thought you were going to say immigrate or relocate. Travel, yes, so you can know who you are and where you come from. Connect with your roots, because that's spiritually necessary, that's psychologically necessary, that's politically necessary, that's socially necessary. Now, if you would have said immigrate, I would have said no, because as the Right Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, I have no intention of taking all of you back to Africa. Some of you are no good in America, so you damn well will be no good in Africa. And I'm of the same way. We don't need bunny hoppers in Africa. We don't need basketballs and footballs in Africa. You understand? Right. We don't need to be taking no problems there. You go there, you go to solve problems, not to create them. You know what I mean? So Garvey never led a back to Africa movement. That's what the white man called it. When people hear the word Pan-Africanism, they say, oh, they want to take everybody back. We never believed in that. And I don't believe in it now. Only those who want to go and have something that they can contribute to the rebuilding of Africa should go back to Africa. You understand? Now, to what you said in the beginning there, the whole world is the kingdom of Africa, because we're the first people to circumnavigate the planet. We're the first Europeans. We're the first Asians. We're the first Americans. We're the first everything. We was on every continent before anybody else ever evolved. If you dig long enough, you're going to find Black folks everywhere in the beginning. So the whole world is the kingdom of Africa, but the continent is the royal palace.
Now, that that phase you went through, I won't even say phase, that what you went through when you went to West Africa.
Yes, sir.
Is that something you think every Black person can experience, or do you have to be chosen to go through that?
That's a great question. I'm going to look at it a couple different ways.
Gotcha.
To begin with, in many African spiritual systems, women, Black women, are born with the spiritual capacity to access other dimensions. They born with it, right? Mm-hmm. So the African woman is slightly more spiritual than us in that she's born with that energy. We have to be initiated and trained into it, right? So that's one part of my answer. Here's the other part. It depends on how spiritually ready you are. Here's one of the laws of spirit, right? Your ancestors might want you to go to Africa and go through exactly what Dr. Umar went through to open you up spiritually, right? But are you psychologically ready to receive that truth? Listen, I was born and raised Muslim. That indoctrination was heavy, right? So even after I went through that awakening inside of Goree Island, I still had to deal with some of the indoctrination of Islam that taught me that anything that was beyond the realms of the Quran was not divine. You follow me? And I'm a conscious brother, and I still had to work through it. You see what I'm saying? So remember, spirit will only give you what you can handle. They might want to give you the world, but if you are not psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually prepared to be opened up, it will harm you, and therefore they won't bring it to you. So when you hear that saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is exactly the truth when it comes to ancestral awakening. They're only going to come to you if you're ready to receive them. And that night in that hotel room, I don't think I was ready to receive them, but they made me ready because they wasn't letting me out the room. You feel me? And they came so hard that I could not ignore what I've been through. In other words, had I dreamt that, if that was a dream, I would have reasoned it away. You follow what I'm saying? They had to get me awake, sitting up on my bed, because anything else, I would have dismissed it as some sort of random dream. So they got me when I was awake because they needed to make sure I accepted it.
That's real. I'm curious, what did you think of the Black Panther movie?
The Black Panther movie, shout out to Ryan Coogler, and of course he has a Black woman. Cinematography, excellent. Right. Excellent. Excellent. Now let's deal with the content.
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
The cinematography is one thing. Content is something else. I got issues with the content in Black Panther. Why? Killmonger, which I believe was Dr. Umar plagiarized, because in that movie, next time you watch Black Panther, you're going to hear Killmonger say things that I've said verbatim. Verbatim. I saw at least 4 comments out of Michael B. Jordan's mouth that I've said verbatim.
Damn.
So they took me and made me into Killmonger.
Can you give us maybe one of those?
Yes, indeed. When he said there's 2 million people all around the world who look exactly like us and we not doing nothing for them. Who the fuck you ever hear say that but King Kong? And I could give you more than that. They took me and made me him. There was another action thing that just came out. They had my whole hair. Of course, I cut it now. Had my hair, beard. It was the three women. It was a Black sister and 2 white girls.
I forget.
It was you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
They had me in there, and everybody texted me for the doc. They got you in here. Look just like me saying my shit in there.
Oh, you can do it.
You know, but stay with me. Stay with me. So with Black Panther, with the content, Killmonger was the metaphorical woke Black man in America who knows everything but doesn't respect African culture. The message in Killmonger to Africa was, don't let these woke Negroes over there. Yeah, they read all the books and they know all the history, but they don't respect African culture. They've been Europeanized and they filled with hatred, like Killmonger. If you let Black America come back to Africa, they will destroy your society. There was coded messages in Black Panther for different African populations around the world. Now let's look at Prince T'Challa, right? Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. His character, the Black Panther, was what? Selfish, stingy. He was a nationalist, but he wasn't a Pan-Africanist. He didn't care about Black people outside of Wakanda. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Remember when Lupita kept trying to get him to go help? She said, we got everything in Wakanda. Let's go help our brothers and sisters in America. Prince T'Challa said, we don't give a damn about them.
Yeah, he did.
You follow what I'm saying? So that was a message to Black America that Africa don't want your ass. Y'all can keep wearing dashikis and changing your name and getting locks. They don't want you. So the messages, I think, were very damaging and destructive to the aspirations of Black people on both sides of the water. And let's be clear, this was not a coincidence. Black Panther came out in 2017, was it? 2018?
2018, I want to say.
What was the very next year after Black Panther came out? The year of return. 1619 to 2019. 400 years of African people in the diaspora relocated from slavery. Are you going to tell me it's a coincidence that you bring a movie out? You bring a movie out the year before the quadricentennial of Black slavery. You bring a movie out that tells Africans, Black Americans are no good for you, and tell Black Americans, Africans are no good for you. Look at this now. Killmonger is the metaphorical Black man in America. Prince T'Challa, the metaphorical Black man in Africa. You don't want to be bothered with him, and you don't want to be bothered with him. Now let's bring it home. CIA agent Ross, remember the white boy?
Yep.
At the end of the day, he flies the plane in. He really saves the day. Can I ask y'all a question? How can a CIA agent be a hero in an African movie when the CIA assassinated every major Black leader we had in America, Africa, Central South America, and the Caribbean? They got Maurice Bishop assassinated. They was implicated in Walter Rodney. They got Malcolm killed, King killed. They the ones who got Garvey thrown out of America. They the ones who had Patrice Lumumba assassinated. They helped Nelson Mandela get arrested. The CIA destroyed the Black liberation movement. And you mean to tell me you got a Black Panther movie
Implanted
with
drugs.
an organization responsible for killing every major Black leader saves the fucking day? Now, listen, Congress, U.S. Congress, they have a committee for Hollywood. Guess what the job, I forget the name of it, but there's a congressional committee who oversees the movies that come out of Hollywood. And what do we know about the congressional committee? They will pay your movie studio to put content, characters, themes, and storylines in your movie that are favorable to American foreign policy. You're not going to tell me the FBI. Ryan Coogler cannot tell me that the FBI didn't have their fingerprints on Black Panther because the storylines was completely disgusting. I'm going to go one more.
Let's go.
For the Queendom. The movie's in Africa, right?
Right.
Can you tell me something? Why you didn't see a single Black mother with a child in a 3-hour movie in Africa? There was no maternity in Black Panther. Where can you go in Africa and not see a woman with her baby?
Message.
You know why? You know why?
Why is that?
Because they are trying to create a mindset and an atmosphere in an ecosystem where Black children no longer look to Black on Black heterosexual love. And so they strip Black Panther of Black on Black heterosexual love because they selling our children the rainbow agenda. Black Panther 1 was a CIA psychops, and Black Panther 2 followed up on it.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.